Are you ready to become the strongest version of yourself? Think carefully, because this isn't just about physical strength or the ability to stand tall when times are easy. No, it's about something much deeper, something much more powerful. Are you truly prepared to build a mindset that doesn't crumble under pressure, that doesn't give in when the weight of the world seems too heavy to bear? Mental strength isn't just for the rare few. It's not some exclusive club that only a handful of people can join. It's for anyone willing to put in the work, for anyone ready to face themselves, to face their fears, their doubts, and their weaknesses. But this journey isn't for the faint of heart. It's not about acting tough or pretending to be invincible. True mental strength is about resilience. It's about bending without breaking, about walking through storms and finding your way, even when everything around you seems determined to bring you down. Think about it. What would your life look like if you had that kind of strength? Imagine a version of you that doesn't waver in the face of challenges, that doesn't crumble when life throws obstacles your way. Imagine a version of you that stands firm, no matter what. Because that's what mentally strong people do. And the good news, you can become one of them. You can build that strength, that resilience, that unwavering determination. It starts with a choice to embrace change, to let go of the past, to live each day with gratitude. It starts with a commitment to take full responsibility for your life, to focus only on what you can control, and to keep going, even when the road is rough. The journey to mental strength is not about finding shortcuts. It's about making tough choices over and over again, until those choices become a part of who you are. So, are you ready? Are you truly ready to become the strongest version of yourself? Because if you are, let's begin. Mental strength isn't just a nice to have, it's a necessity. Imagine going through life, allowing every setback, every rejection, every unexpected twist to bring you down. Imagine if every time someone doubted you, or every time a door closed in your face, you just accepted it, giving up a little more each time. What would that life look like? What dreams would you leave behind? What potential would go untapped? Think of all the times you've held back because you were afraid to fail, afraid to look foolish, afraid to face the unknown. Think about the goals you've set aside, not because they were impossible, but because they seemed just out of reach and you didn't feel strong enough to try. If you never develop that inner toughness, if you never build that strength of mind, you risk spending your life in a state of regret, looking back and wondering what could have been. But let me tell you something powerful. Mental strength can change everything. It's the difference between walking away from a challenge and pushing through it. It's the difference between letting circumstances control you and taking control of your own life. Imagine what you could accomplish if you had the resilience to face every setback, every failure, and every loss with the belief that you are capable of overcoming it. Imagine the doors that would open, the fears you'd conquer, the life you'd build if you had that strength within you. This strength, this resilience, it's what separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. Mentally strong people know that every hardship, every obstacle, every struggle is an opportunity to grow, to become better, to become stronger. They know that life isn't always going to be easy, and they don't expect it to be. But they don't let that stop them. They don't let the fear of failure, the pain of rejection, or the weight of past mistakes hold them back. Instead, they use these experiences as fuel, as motivation to keep going, to keep moving forward. And that's why mental strength matters. Because in the end, it's not about avoiding the challenges. It's about facing them head on. It's about standing firm, even when everything else is falling apart. It's about building a life that's not defined by fear or doubt, but by courage, resilience, and determination. So I ask you again, what kind of life do you want to live? What kind of person do you want to be? Because if you're ready to live a life of purpose, of strength, and of courage, then it's time to start building that mental strength. It's time to start becoming the person you were meant to be. One of the most powerful traits of mentally strong people is their willingness to embrace change. Now, let's be honest here. Change can be uncomfortable. It can be scary, even painful at times. It's natural to want to hold on to what's familiar, what feels safe. But here's the thing. Without change, there's no growth. Without stepping out of your comfort zone, you remain exactly where you are, never moving forward, never becoming the person you're meant to be. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man who was so afraid of change that he missed out on countless opportunities. He stayed in the same job, the same routine, the same mindset, year after year, because it was familiar, because it was comfortable. But deep down, he knew he wasn't happy. Deep down, he knew he wanted more, but he was so afraid of the unknown that he kept holding himself back. Until one day, he realized something. Comfort was keeping him stagnant. Comfort was stopping him from reaching his potential. Mentally strong people know that growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. They know that real progress, real transformation, only happens when you're willing to face the unknown, to step into unfamiliar territory, to take risks, and make bold moves. They see change not as a threat, but as an opportunity, a chance to learn, to grow, to become better than they were before. Think about it this way. Change is like the seasons. Just as nature goes through cycles of growth, so do we. Just as the leaves fall to make way for new ones, we must be willing to let go of what no longer serves us, to make room for something new. If you hold on too tightly to what you know, you'll miss out on what could be. You'll miss out on the chance to discover new strengths, new possibilities, new versions of yourself. So, let me ask you, where in your life are you resisting change? Is it in your career, your relationships, your personal growth? Are you holding back because it's easier to stay where you are, because it feels safe? I challenge you to take a hard look at those areas, to ask yourself whether staying in your comfort zone is truly serving you, or if it's keeping you from reaching your potential. Mentally strong people don't let fear of the unknown dictate their lives. They don't stay stuck just because it's easier. They understand that every change, no matter how difficult, is a step toward growth. They know that on the other side of discomfort is a version of themselves that's stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Embracing change is an act of courage, an act of faith. It's about trusting that whatever lies ahead, you have the strength to handle it, to adapt, to thrive. So today, I encourage you to open yourself up to change. Don't resist it. Don't fear it. Embrace it. See it as a chance to grow, to evolve, to become the person you're meant to be. One of the hardest battles we face is with our own past. It's so easy to replay our mistakes, our regrets, our failures. We go over them again and again, wondering how things could have been different, blaming ourselves for choices we made or didn't make. But here's the truth. Living in the past only holds us back from living in the present and building the future we deserve. Let me tell you a story. There was someone I knew who couldn't let go of a mistake he made years ago. Every day, he replayed it in his mind, wishing he had made a different choice, wishing he could go back and undo it. But while he was so focused on what was behind him, he couldn't see what was in front of him. Opportunities passed him by, relationships suffered, and he was stuck in a cycle of regret. He was so busy looking back that he forgot to live here and now. Mentally strong people don't let the past dictate their future. They don't let mistakes define them. Instead, they learn from them and they move on. They know that every experience, every failure, every setback was a lesson meant to make them wiser, to make them stronger. They don't see mistakes as a reflection of who they are, but as steps along the journey to who they are becoming. Imagine you're driving a car. The rearview mirror is there for a reason. It's important to glance back every now and then to learn from what's behind you. But if you keep your eyes on that mirror, you'll crash. You won't get anywhere because you're not looking at the road ahead. Life is the same way. Yes, learn from your past, but don't dwell on it. Don't let it keep you from moving forward, from embracing what's possible right now. So I ask you, what are you holding on to from your past? Is there a regret, a failure, a mistake that you just can't seem to let go of? Maybe it's a lost opportunity, a relationship that ended, a choice you wish you could change. Whatever it is, I challenge you to take a step back and see it for what it truly is, a lesson. It's a part of your story, yes, but it doesn't have to be the whole story. Mentally strong people let go of the weight of their past so they can move forward freely, unburdened, and ready for what's next. Today, make peace with your past. Accept what happened, learn from it, and let it go. See it as a chapter that has shaped you, but not one that defines you. Because the truth is, every time you choose to let go of something that no longer serves you, you create space for something new, something better. And that's the beauty of life. You always have the power to create new beginnings. Gratitude is one of the simplest, yet most powerful tools we have, but it's often overlooked. We get so caught up in what we don't have, in the things that aren't going right, that we forget to appreciate the things that are. Mentally strong people know that gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's a mindset, a way of seeing the world that brings more peace, more joy, and more resilience. There's a story I heard about a woman who went through incredibly tough times, lost her job, faced health issues, and struggled in her relationships. Yet every morning she made it a habit to write down 3 things she was grateful for. It didn't matter how small or simple they were. What mattered was that she took the time to appreciate them. And do you know what happened? Despite everything going wrong in her life, she found strength. She found moments of peace, of happiness, even in the middle of her struggles. Gratitude became her anchor. Mentally strong people understand this. They know that gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. They don't deny their problems or ignore their struggles, but they make a conscious choice to also see what's good, what's working, what they're blessed with. Because when you focus on gratitude, your energy changes, your perspective shifts. You start to see life not as something you endure, but as something you appreciate. Think about it. How often do you focus on what's missing in your life? How often do you get caught up in comparison, in wishing for things to be different? We all do it. But what if instead you made it a habit to count your blessings, to focus on what you have rather than what you lack? Imagine the peace, the strength, the joy that would come from simply being thankful. So here's my challenge to you. Start each day with gratitude. Take a moment to think about 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. They can be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a beautiful sunrise, a kind word from a friend. The point is to cultivate a habit of appreciation, to train your mind to see the good even when life is tough. When you practice gratitude, you build resilience, you build mental strength, because gratitude reminds you that no matter what you face, there is always something worth appreciating. And that knowledge, that understanding gives you the strength to keep going. So make gratitude a part of your life and watch how it transforms not just your outlook, but your entire life. Taking responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering things you can do. It's about understanding that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you always have control over how you respond. Mentally strong people don't waste time blaming others or looking for excuses. They know that their life is their responsibility, and they take ownership of their actions, their choices, and their outcomes. I remember a story about a man who faced a series of setbacks. He lost his job, went through a painful breakup, and struggled with his health. It would have been easy for him to point fingers, to blame the economy, to blame his ex, to blame circumstances. But instead, he took a different approach. He asked himself, what can I learn from this? What role did I play in my own story? And how can I change things moving forward? He didn't see himself as a victim of life. He saw himself as the author of his life, and that made all the difference. Mentally strong people understand that blaming others might feel good in the short term, but it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't bring growth, and it doesn't bring change. When you take responsibility, you take back your power. You stop being a passenger in your own life, and you start being the driver. It's about choosing to see yourself as capable, as accountable, as someone who can change their circumstances through their actions. Now, this doesn't mean that everything that happens to you is your fault. Life throws challenges our way that we didn't ask for. And sometimes we end up in situations beyond our control. But mentally strong people don't let that stop them. They don't get stuck in a cycle of why me? Instead, they focus on what now. They ask themselves what they can do, what they can change, how they can grow from where they are. They understand that responsibility isn't about blame, it's about empowerment. So let me ask you, are there areas in your life where you're giving away your power by blaming others? Are there situations where you could take ownership instead, where you could step up and make a change? I challenge you to take an honest look at yourself and your life. Be brave enough to take responsibility, even for the things that are hard to face. Because when you do, you set yourself free. You gain the power to create a life on your terms. Taking responsibility isn't easy, but it's one of the most freeing things you can do. It's the path to growth, to self-respect, to true strength. Mentally strong people know this, and they embrace it. They don't wait for others to change, they change themselves. They don't wait for life to be easy. They make the best of every situation. And in doing so, they build a life of resilience, of courage, of strength. So take responsibility today and watch how your life transforms. One of the most liberating lessons mentally strong people have learned is to let go of what they cannot control. Think about it. How much of our stress, our worry, our frustration comes from things that are simply outside of our influence? We spend so much energy trying to control situations, people, outcomes that are beyond our reach. And in doing so, we lose sight of what we can control. I remember hearing about someone who was always worried about what people thought of him. He'd change his behavior, his words, even his appearance, trying to please everyone. But no matter what he did, there was always someone who wasn't satisfied. He spent so much energy trying to win approval that he forgot to live for himself. Mentally strong people know that no matter how hard you try, you can't control others' opinions, the weather, or even every outcome of your efforts. They focus on what's within their grasp, their attitude, their actions, their responses. They let the rest go. Imagine your energy is like a bank account. Every time you stress over something beyond your control, you're making a withdrawal. Every time you focus on things that don't change, you're spending energy that could have been invested in something meaningful. When you learn to release what you cannot change, you preserve your energy for what truly matters, for what you can influence. So, here's the question. What are you trying to control in your life that's out of your hands? Maybe it's someone else's opinion or a situation that didn't turn out the way you wanted. I challenge you to let it go. Focus instead on what you can control, your choices, your attitude, your actions. Mentally strong people don't waste time trying to control the uncontrollable. They focus on their own growth, their own journey, and they trust that things will work out as they're meant to. Let go of what's beyond your reach. Free yourself from the stress, the worry, the need to control every little detail. When you do, you'll find a new sense of peace, a new sense of freedom. And that freedom, that's where real strength lies. If there's one thing mentally strong people understand, it's this. Growth is uncomfortable. It's challenging, it's messy, and it's often painful. But they don't let that stop them. They know that discomfort is a sign that they're moving in the right direction, that they're stretching beyond their limits. Mentally strong people embrace the discomfort because they know it's part of the journey to becoming who they're meant to be. There's a story about a young athlete who faced injury after injury. Each time he was knocked down, he got back up, determined to keep going. His body ached, his mind was weary, but he knew that every bit of pain, every setback was strengthening him, teaching him, preparing him for greatness. That's what perseverance looks like. It's choosing to keep going, even when it would be easier to quit. Mentally strong people don't run from pain. They don't avoid the struggle. They understand that it's in those tough moments, those moments of doubt, of fear, of frustration, that real strength is born. They see challenges as opportunities to grow, to become stronger, to prove to themselves that they can handle whatever life throws their way. So let me ask you, what are you avoiding because it's uncomfortable? What goal, what dream, what growth opportunity are you putting off because it feels hard, because it scares you? I challenge you to face that discomfort head on. Embrace it, knowing that every step you take through that discomfort is a step closer to the person you're meant to become. Persevering through discomfort isn't about ignoring the pain. It's about recognizing that the pain has a purpose, that it's shaping you, molding you, preparing you for something greater. Mentally strong people know that the road to success, to growth, to strength isn't smooth. But they walk it anyway with courage, with determination, with resilience. So don't shy away from discomfort. Embrace it. Let it teach you. Let it strengthen you. And know that with every step you take through that discomfort, you're building a life of resilience, a life of strength, a life of purpose. Now let's take a moment to remember what mentally strong people do. Because each one of these choices, each one of these habits is a piece of the puzzle, a piece that, when put together, forms a life of true strength, true resilience, true purpose. Mentally strong people embrace change. They don't cling to the past, they learn from it, and they move forward. They practice gratitude, finding strength and peace in what they already have, rather than focusing on what they lack. They take full responsibility for their lives, refusing to blame others or circumstances, but instead owning their actions, their choices, their future. They don't waste energy on things they can't control, choosing instead to focus on what they can influence, what they can change. They persevere through discomfort, understanding that growth requires stepping out of their comfort zone, that true strength is born from struggle. Each of these habits, these ways of thinking and acting, builds on the others. Together, they create a life that's not just about surviving, but about thriving. A life that's not defined by fear, by doubt, by insecurity, but by courage, by purpose, by resilience. This is what it means to be mentally strong. This is what it means to live a life of true strength. Remember, mental strength isn't about never feeling fear or doubt. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about making choices that build resilience, that create a foundation of strength, of courage, of purpose. It's about choosing every day to face challenges head on, to embrace change, to let go of what you cannot control, and to keep moving forward, even when the road is rough. Mentally strong people aren't born, they're made. They're made through choices, through habits, through the small daily actions that build character, that build resilience, that build strength. So, I ask you, are you ready to become mentally strong? Are you ready to embrace these habits, these mindsets, these ways of thinking and living? Because if you are, then know this. You already have the strength within you. You already have what it takes to face any challenge, to overcome any obstacle, to create a life of purpose, of meaning, of impact. Mental strength is a journey, a process, a commitment. It's not something you achieve overnight, but something you build over time, with patience, with determination, with courage. So go out there, face your fears, embrace change, let go of the past, take responsibility, focus on what you can control, and persevere through the discomfort. This is your life, your journey, your story. And with each step you take, each choice you make, you are building the strength, the resilience, the courage that will carry you through. Remember, don't be afraid to fall forward. Don't be afraid to take risks, to make mistakes, to stumble. Every challenge, every struggle, every setback is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become stronger. This is your journey to mental strength. Embrace it, own it, and let it guide you toward becoming the person you were meant to be.